All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first race of the Fast 15 here with the Cyber Racing Association Homes Now Super Speedway Series. Tonight we come to you live from Talladega Motor Speedway with the K&N cars, where we're going to go 90 laps, 3 stages. These guys have worked hard up until this point in the season to get locked into the Fast 15. Now, points have been reset, and the drivers that did not make it in are going to be battling for 16th and 17th. As always, 3 stages, 30 laps apiece. I know it'll say 100 laps, but that's allotted for NASCAR overtime. So on top of that, as always, it's full fuel. You must pit once per stage, and there is 1 quick fix. So these guys definitely have a lot on the line, as it'll move into, I believe, they'll do it in eliminations of 4, so it'll go from 15 to 11. But once again, everybody else who did not make it into the 15 is going to be racing for the 16th and 17th position. As we're nearing the end of practice here right now, the fastest lap out on the track is the 8 of Dana Osborne with a 47.977. And these guys, I've been watching them since right around practice started. They've been doing a good job here with car control. We saw a few instances of 4 wide where they were actually able to hold it, and then the inevitable does happen, but you know, it's going to, and it's practice. You want to get this out of your system and over with before the race starts. Looking at the field, we've got 25 cars, so it's going to be a great starting field tonight. Right now we're looking at the 18 of Gary Champion. We get trading paints to keep doing its thing here. I know Gary's got a paint scheme and not an all-black car. There we go, now we're starting to see some things the way that it's supposed to be. So we're in the final 20 seconds here of practice. This is pretty much going to wind things down, and we'll move into qualifying. All right, so the timer has run out. We are now officially into qualifying. Let's see who is going to get that top spot on the board tonight. The drivers make their way out. They've got 2 laps to set a fast one here. Take a look there at the 54, running the high line there on his out lap. That's pretty much par for the course. You want to stay there on that outside line. We see also the 87 there, Raymond Rittenhauer. Another 54 of Chris Akers. And the 6 of Alexander Russell. We see the 16 of Chris Brown. Pretty much all the drivers are opting to stay up there on that high line, which, believe it or not, it may be a longer way around the track, but the more you keep that car up against the wall and you get the air buffeted around it, you can actually get a lot faster on your second lap if you stay up there and you manage to not get into the wall. Usually the rule goes out lap, you stay up the wall, second lap you stay as high as you can, and then you bring it right down to the yellow line for your final lap to bring in the fast lap. So we see the 2 there of Rick Seabrands rocking the Yeti paint scheme there on the K&N Pro Chevy Impala. There's the one of R.D. Peterson Jr. Let's see what happens when we see some times get posted up here. Right now, the 88 of Gregory Thompson I'm seeing with the fastest lap of a 54.085. Now that's going to get replaced by the 66 of Bobby Tinch, and it's going to continue to change around as we see P.J. O'Leary now in the 80. He is now sitting on the top spot with a 53.535. Behind him, the 66 of Bobby Tinch with a 53.747. The 26 of Daniel Holloway with a 53.803. Jim Peterson with a 53.855, and Dwayne Cooper in the 00 rounding out the top 5 with a 53.963. It's gonna be pretty hard to beat those times there, and I don't think we're really gonna sell. Now time to roll in again. Now the 4 of Justin Levine with a 52.922, as we saw the 6 car there doing a kickflip 9,000. Now the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach with a 52.920. That's going to be the new fastest time. So 2,000s. And now we have another fast time. The 3 of Paul Servant of 52.874. We're waiting for some of those faster times to come in, and there they are. 3 times in the, actually no, our top 5 is 6, 7, 8, 9, top 10 on is all running 52s. But it looks like the 52.874 is going to set the pole here tonight at Talladega, so that'll be another pole for the 3 there, Paul Servant. While we get things ready to go here, qualifying is still underway, but everybody's pretty much got it down. We're going to ask everybody to please rise and remove their hats as we bring out the U.S. Army Marching Band for tonight's national anthem. Beautiful job, as always, by the band, and that's going to lead us into tonight's starting grid. So on the pole, we are going to have the 2 of Rick Seabrands, and that's obviously not showing right because, hold on. Let's get that switched over here a little bit. There we go. The 3 of Paul Servant will be starting on pole with a 52.874. Starting outside of him will be the 8 of Dana Osborne with a 52.881. Third place goes to the 18 of Gary Champion. Matthew Welsenbach in the 29 will roll off 4th tonight. Starting 5th will be the 4 of Justin Levine. The 88 of Gregory Thompson will roll off 6th. Chris Akers in the 54 will start 7th. The 36 of Jason Eisenhower will roll off 8th. Jimmy Coleman in the 48 starts 9th. Dwayne Cooper in that 00 is going to round out the top 10 here as we continue to go through the field. Scott Warren in the 76 will roll off 11th. Series sponsor and Radical Racing driver Jim Peterson here will roll off 12th in the 58 machine. R.D. Peterson Jr. in the 1 will start 13th. Matthew Almany will roll off 14th in that 9 machine. Bobby Tinch in the 66 will start 15th tonight. Daniel Holloway in the 26 will roll off 16th. PG O'Leary in the 80 will start 17th. Alexander Russell in the 6 rolls off 18th. Chris Brown in the 16 will start 19th, and running out the top 20 will be the 99 of Thomas LaBarre. Lance Marsh in the 60 will be starting 21st. The 2 of Rick Seaverns will start 22nd. Eric Knex in the 21 will start 23rd, and Raymond Rittenhauer in that 87 will start 24th, and Pondo Co., aka Michael Co., will round out the field here in 25th as the pace car is on its way around the track. We're less than a lap away from getting this one started. Mike, what do you think we're going to see tonight? We're running the fixed setup K&N at Talladega. We know what we've seen in previous races. Are we going to see strategy, or are we going to see the usual chaos?
I think tonight you're going to see a lot more strategy than chaos. These guys know what they're battling for right now. You know, it's a playoff format, and these cars, everyone knows the weird front end they have on them. If you push the wrong way, you're screwed. I think a lot of guys will play it safe tonight and try to be advancing on to the next round, and we'll see. I mean, you never know with these guys. I always say it every week. These guys are crazy, and they'll do whatever they can to get to the front. So we'll have to see, and it's going to be exciting.
Well, definitely these guys are definitely the group. If you want to see a show put on, look no further, because they're not afraid to take it 3, 4, 5. Hell, we've seen them 6, 7, and 8 wide at times, and they've managed to hold it together. And yet, sometimes we see them single wide, and we've seen all chaos ensue. But with the Fast 15 locked in, and this being the first race, with all the drivers from 16th on back fighting for 16th and 17th, I think that's going to make for 2 different sets of strategies. We've got the backpack guys trying to race up for those 2 spots, and then obviously we've got the Fast 15 trying to advance from week to week to week. So I think we're going to see a lot of different strategies play out, and I'm really excited to see this pace car pull off, and I want to see another good green flag run like we saw last week. But the pace car is getting ready to make its way down pit road. As always, we get it ready for a crank it up restart. Pace car is off, and the 3 of Paul Servant is going to lead us into the start of the race here. So let's enjoy it from the crank it up cam.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. All right, now that we got a couple laps there in the books with the crank it up camera, we'll go ahead and pull back to the regular Fox cams. Out front right now, it is the 8 of Dana Osborne. He is there on the outside line. We still see the 3 of Paul Servant up there, but right now we're looking at the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. He's currently still sitting in 10th spot. And I think that we are going to be seeing a couple of different strategies going on right now. I know these guys love to race like hell, and they're going to race fast. And there it is right there. Dwayne looking to the outside there, so we're going to be 3 wide going into turn 3 here. As we also see the 16, he's going to be up there as well. I don't know if Dwayne's trying to cycle to the back or if was really wanting to get that 3rd lane going, and he ended up being an odd man out. I think I don't know if he's trying to go to the back. He's really branching out, but now he's going to get back in line.
I think Dwayne's just crazy and wanted to go 3 wide.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that one 100%. See, the cars are starting to dance a little bit on that bottom line. I know I always hate being trapped down on that low line, especially here at a plate track. The outside, you've got a little bit more control on where you go, but looking at the front, these guys, the front 2 guys here have got it made because they literally are dictating and controlling the race. Unless somebody wants to go crazy and make it 3 wide, the 8 and the 3 right now are controlling this, and everybody else has to follow suit behind to keep the lanes moving the way they want them to. So as they get the laps going and going and going, the longer these cars stay tucked up behind each other, the warmer they're going to get, and you're going to see people have to start breathing the cars, which is going to lead to them getting all bunched up, and you'll see them sticking out in the corners or even breathing them on the straightaway there. As we see the 80 get a little piece of the apron there. We look at the 48 there of Jimmy Coleman, and he is right now being scored in 7th position. On his outside, the 36 of Jason Eisenhower. Directly in front of him, the 4 of Justin Levine.
Caution's out.
We have a caution on the track.
All right, buddy, you had a couple laps by yourself there. How'd it feel?
All right, looks like that one's going to be on the 26. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened there. So here we're watching the 26 car right here. That is Daniel Holloway, and the unfortunate victim, I think, is going to be the 58 there of Jim Peterson. So let's see what happens. You see he's got some good space. He's being pushed there by the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. Directly in front of him is the 58 of Jim Peterson. And you see the 26 wanting to go up high. Everything's looking good so far. Oh, look at that. That's net cut if I've ever seen it. The whole front of that car was through the back of the 58. Let's go ahead and take a look also from the 58's point of view on that one. Actually, we're going to go to the 16 of Chris Brown because apparently he witnessed this thing right in his cockpit. We see the car going through. So here we are riding on board with the 16 of Chris Brown. There is, wow, that's a crazy view to see a car that's breakdancing go through you like that, but that's what brought the caution. And unfortunately, it was netcode, so everybody now will be coming down pit road. We cycle back to the Fox cameras here. We see the 29 there, Matthew Welsenbach. He is being scored right now as the race leader. So working an early caution here at Talladega Super Speedway with the Cyber Racing Homes Now Super Speedway League. We're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break here while they're under caution, and we'll return with the pace car probably still rolling around with its lights on. And we are back. Pace car, of course, still hasn't even made a lap here. Now, I think the verbal diarrhea there. The interesting thing to note is the front 4 cars here have not pitted yet, and during each stage, everybody is required to pit 1 time. So the 29, the 88, the 16, and the 00 have not come down pit road yet. Oh, that's sad to hear, Jim. I hate it, especially when I'm running races where I have a fast repair and I forget to set it. It's unfortunate too that netcode took you out, but hopefully that doesn't have any serious implications for the next race. As we do see the lights on the pace car are out, which means we are less than a lap from restarting the race. We're going to go ahead and do a quick run through the top 10. Restarting the race with the lead will be the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, the 88 of Gregory Thompson second, the 00 Dwayne Cooper third, the 16 of Chris Brown fourth, Gary Champion in the 18 fifth, the 4 of Justin Levine sixth, Dana Osborne in the 8 seventh, the 3 of Paul Savant eighth, the 36 of Jason Eisenhower ninth, and Scott Warren in the 76 is going to round out tonight's top 10 as we get ready to restart this race on lap 9. Alright, as the pace car makes its way out of turn 4, it'll be making its way down pit road, and once again that's going to lead us into another crank it up restart.
Flag.
All right, green flag is back out. We're underway. I'm going to shut up so you guys can hear these cars sing. Now that we are back to the regular Fox camera, during the entire time we were under crank it up, they have gone 3 wide. Look at this outside line here. They are absolutely, definitely not sticking to what we kind of figured we'd see tonight here as far as racing goes. They are definitely, this is balls to the wall racing. This is what I love about CRA, that these guys are not afraid to make the moves, as we see right there. The 8 of Dana Osborne, he's going to clear both lanes and he's going to cycle down to the front, but that's not going to give him the advantage there, because we did have, and we still do have, 3 lines of traffic here. Unfortunately, the 76 of Scott Warren is right now the lone man out. He's going to have to cycle back in there, but we are still 3 wide, and as they cross the line this time by, it's going to be a tight race for who gets that lap, but it's going to be the 8 of Dana Osborne. So you see the 54 there of Chris Akers. He's still on the outside line as well. So you see now the 76 has been able to get back in line.
Art, what I really love about this league is every lap they race as if it is the last lap of the race.
I think that's the way you're supposed to do it here, especially when you're play track race. I mean, hell, it's no fun to sit and just ride. I like watching the action, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times when I see these huge wrecks, I'm glad that I'm up here with you in the safety of the booth, because sometimes these cars get very, very airborne, and we see them disappear sometimes, and I think a couple of them have actually come through the, or gone over the spotter boxes here at Talladega, so sometimes it's safer to be up in the spotter box, but definitely love watching these guys race. They're not afraid to take it 3-4 wide. They're not afraid to get racy. They're not afraid to trade paint, bang doors, and that's all part of play track racing. You just don't sit there, and it's not a rhythm track. It's a keep your foot to the floor, stay tucked up behind somebody, and try and go like hell and try and get up front, which is exactly what we see these guys do week in and week out. And during all that, we see now the 4 of Justin Levine has taken over the top spot on the bottom line, but he's going to be under fire there by the 3 of Paul Servan as they come to the line. That time by, though, it will be the 4 of Justin Levine leading that lap, so that'll be his first lap led tonight. So we see the 3, they're being pushed by the 18 of Gary Champion behind him, the 2 of Rick Seabrands. See a little bit of letting out there on the outside line, some rattlesnaking going on here on the backstretch, and some braking out here. A lot of it, I think, is these guys are trying to cool the cars off, and I think a lot of them, both the lines are checking up, so when you check up, obviously you got to let off the throttle, and that starts the domino effect, a chain reaction, and you'll start seeing tailpipes popping off of various cars, just so they can gather it back up and keep going. As they battle at the line again, I think once again this is going to be Justin Levine leading another lap, and it will be. So that'll be 2 in the books for him tonight. Pulling a quick summary up here, we've already had 5 lead changes. We've had 1 caution for 2 laps. And our current race leader is the 4 of Justin Levine, although right now you can see on the outside the 8 of Dana Osborne is almost clear. If he can get pushed just a little bit further, he can go ahead and drop down in front of that 4 car, take over the lead. But as you see him come out of turn 4 there, a little bit of that run died off and the inside gathered it back up. But here we go, through the tri-oval. If that 8 can get clear, watch for that 8 to drop down unless he's going to try and bring the 3 with him.
Well, since the 8 and 3 are teammates, they probably will stay together, I would hope.
I would imagine so, because that time Paul pushed Dana out to the front and score another lap led for the 8 of Dana Osborne. That'll be his 7th lap led of the night. We see the 29 there, Matthew Welsenbach, behind the 4 of Justin Levine, and we see that there's a little bit of a gap there on the bottom line, and there we go, the 8 has made his way down to the bottom. So now we've got teammates occupying both lanes of traffic here.
It's always a nice thing when your 2 teammates are out front. You can control both lines. You have basic control of the race.
Now, spanning back in CRA history, this goes back a few seasons to when we covered them before, and Dark Horse was the big name around there. They actually had to bring some rules into effect, like if you had your team occupying both lanes of travel, you had to show that you didn't exceed a certain amount of laps to basically control the field using just the cars. Now here, this is a different story. You can see that it's a battle of the inside line versus the outside line. Nobody's playing any games here, but we did see that, like with Dark Horse, they would play games and try to get the field stuck and just keep like the 88 and the 3 at the time. Those are the 2 fast guys from the DHI stable, and you always see them up there dominating the inside and outside line. But here we're seeing the 8 and the 3, which are teammates. This isn't anything to try and control the race. This is the 3 trying to get up in front of his teammate, the 8, with the help of all the other cars on the outside line. We see a lot of snaking going on there coming to the start-finish line. It'll be another lap in the books there for the 3 of Paul Servan as he is being scored with that lap. So that'll be his 3rd lap led tonight. Right now, that 8 machine, he's got the most laps led with 8. Following that would be the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach with 4. The 3 of Paul Savant with 3. Justin Levine with 2. So we're getting close here to the end of stage 1. And we know the strategy that everybody is required to pit once. We knew that the front 4 hadn't pitted yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Are they going to come down with like 2 to go, 1 to go before the caution comes, or they have to pretty much because they haven't come down. So, I mean, early on it's not really going to be as big of a deal, but later in the race we're probably going to see a lot of teammates lined up nose to tail as we get set to go into the final stage after lap 60. But right now, I think it's kind of just going to be, let's get out, lead some laps, let's get some position, let's just have some fun, and then we'll worry about what the race does later on when we're in the final stage, the one that counts the most. Now, yes, winning the stage is great, but we all know that the best lap to lead is the last lap because that brings home the checkered flag, and that time by, it will be the 3 of Paul Servant again, so that'll give him 4 laps led, and he'll tie him with Matthew Welsenbach. We take a look around here, see where most exciting lands us. So the 00, Dwayne Cooper, is dropping to the back of the field. That must mean he's getting ready to come down pit road. We take a look at the 6 of Alexander Russell. He's being scored in 10th right now. Outside of him will be the 21, that Kodiak. I remember seeing, I'm trying to remember who used to run that. I think it was Rick Maston. I know Harry Gant ran the Skull Bandit car, so I'm pretty sure it was Rick Maston that ran the Kodiak, and I think Ken Schrader for a brief time back in the day. But that right there is for 10th on back from the 6 car. And now we look at the 66 of Bobby Tinch. That's 9th place. Directly in front of him, the 76 of Scott Warren, and then the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach. On the outside, we've got the 2 of Rick Seabrands and the 21 of Eric Nix. Behind that, we see the 1 of Artie Peterson Jr. making his way up, and in front of the 2 there, we have the 18 of Gary Champion and the outside front runner of Paul Savant and the number 3 Oreo machine. And at the line, I think it's going to be the 4 of Justin Levine. So score another lap led for that 4 machine. That'll bring him up to 5. It's almost looking like these guys have kind of hit like a little bit of an air pocket. Some of them might intentionally be laying off on that outside line. The ones I was looking at was the 2, the 21, and the 1. Now they've gotten up to the back bumper there of the 18. So now the 18 and the 3 have a lot more help.
It also could be too because they're tired of death gripping the wheel. You know how it is when you're 3 wide, you know, and you're battling hard. You just can't. You hold on to that wheel as tight as you goddamn can.
And sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it until your hands start going numb. Then you look down, you're like, oh shit, I've been grabbing the crap out of my wheel. There's 2 spots on my Alcantara wheel that are just completely flattened, and I cannot get it to come back up. And that's right where the thumb rests are, on the dead center of the wheel, from death gripping the living crap out of it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even realize too. You stop breathing, you're holding your breath.
Yep, you don't blink.
You're making weird facial expressions while you're racing this because it's so intense.
You get that Eli Manning, either I have to shit or I just took a shit face. As we see, there's the 29, and several of the cars that had not pitted, they're going to be coming down to get their service done, which means we are very, very close to the end of stage 1 here at Talladega. As we go back up front, it's going to be the 18 of Gary Champion out there. You see the 3 of Paul Savant has managed to drop down to the inside. Rick Seabrand's there, and the 2 machine being pushed by the 21. Let's see if both of those guys can get clear as they go into turn 3, but the 2 is almost clear, but then they neutral out as they go to 3 and 4. You see the 66 there, Bobby Tinch, a little bit wobbly through the corner there. A lot of it has to do with, we've watched these cars long enough to know, and we've driven them enough to know, the backs of these cars are about as flat as a 2x4, and the noses are a spade shovel, so bumping these cars is a very scientific thing. As you can see, the back of the 2 car there, look at this spoiler. It's got little dimples and pock marks in it. You can see where he's been bumped a few times, and it's done a little bit of tweaking and maybe a little bit more downforce on the back of that 2 machine. But you got to be very careful how and where you bump these cars. You got to watch out for the side draft, because the net coating, I don't know if I can ever say that the net coating has gotten better with iRacing. If anything, it's gotten worse and worse over the years. I mean, we've seen wrecks where, hell, you could have driven a sideways semi through there and you would not have made contact, and we've seen cars go around. But at the fight for the line, this time it'll be the 3 of Paul Savant leading that lap, as he is able to clear going down in turn 1. So that'll set the 2 of Rick Seabrands up to try and make his way around the 3 and take over that top spot. He's got the 21 and the 1 as well as the 66 pushing. There we see the 00 Dwayne Cooper. He is staying up high. He is lap traffic. We can also see there the 26, that is Daniel Holloway. He was involved in that first caution, which was a net code caution with the 58 of Jim Peterson. So Daniel not opting to use that fast repair just yet. So now Dwayne's going to hook up with the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer. Currently, Dwayne Cooper is being scored in 22nd spot. As we see, right behind them is the lead pack. And you see just how quickly, too, now, once 2 cars with no damage get up there, how fast they're able to walk away from that 26. So here's the lead pack. And not far in front of them, as we're going to flip the camera around here. We go in cockpit. There in front is the 00, the 26 being the first car, the 00, the 87, and as we see there, the 18 of Gary Champion has gotten around and inherited the front spot here on the inside line. So we're riding on board with the 3 of Paul Savant. Now this is another thing you have to take into effect when you're racing here. Look at what we can see from riding in cockpit. When you're behind another car, this is all you can see, especially going into the corner. Sometimes that scares the living shit out of you, not knowing if the guy in front of you is going to drift up a little bit in the corner, if he's going to try and straddle the yellow line there. So we see the 3 trying to make a run to the outside, as he's going to do so here, as he's going to try and use these lap cars as a pick. This is going to be a good move to watch in cockpit, as we see the 87 Raymond Rittenhauer up, as well as the 00 Dwayne Cooper. They're going to easily clear by. So it's 3 wide here as they go by a couple lap cars. Now that's going to recycle teammates back up to the front. The 3 of Paul Savant and the 8 of Dana Osborne. As we should see the caution come out this time by, as we will complete the end of stage 1 here. So look for that yellow flag to drop, and everybody could either come down pit road, or now's when we might see some strategies start to come into play.
Caution.
And that will do it for stage 1. Your race winner will be the 3 of Paul Savant, as he was the lead car at the time at the end of stage 1. So that's 30 laps in the books. We'll get these guys all reset. They'll come down pit road, do whatever, get lined up behind the pace car, and we'll get them all reorganized and ready to refire for stage 2.
I think a lot of these guys are going to start breathing again.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that the caution did come out, because I don't think I've been breathing much myself. It's been a lot of in and out, but the whole time, not much air coming in, a lot of air going out. Now it's going to be interesting to see what our front 4 here do as far as strategy. As the field right now is slow rolling, and they have to wait for the pace car, which is right there. As stupid as it is sometimes, I've seen fields, they literally have to wait to go down pit road because the pace car wasn't there. So I've literally seen iRacing dictates that you must wait for the pace car. If you don't and you cross the start finish line, you're going to get a black flag for passing the pace car when you're waiting for it. So we see several drivers here coming down on pit road.
Well, Art, I just got an announcement from the NASCAR officials. Jeff Bodine was on beer number 2. They made him put it down. He's ready to go now.
Awesome. I figured by now he would at least be 6 or 7 in. Did they at least give him the telephone book this time to put under his ass so he could see over the wheel?
They did not, but they are limiting his beer intake for the race.
Yeah, I guess you can win a battle, but not the war. Eventually, I think we need to start a Kickstarter to allow iRacing to give Jeff Bodine that godforsaken telephone booth to put under his ass. I mean, watch, we'll go to the pace car just for shits and giggles. Well, we'll look at it, and you'll see that Jeff Bodine is probably the world's shortest driver. Look at his freaking head. He looks like an old lady behind the wheel.
You know, he's kind of like a horse jockey. He's like 4.5 feet tall, but he looks huge.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's got roid rage, but he's in reality like 4'2", and he's using stilts to hit the gas pedal because the Mustang pace car has been around here so long that the power seat doesn't work anymore, and his little stubby feet can't reach down there and hit the pedal, so he's using blocks and stuff. So on one hand, I kind of feel bad for him. On the other hand, I'm like, kind of screw it. If he's got to use a telephone book, some like modified sheetrocker stilts, and iRacing has to limit his beer intake, then so be it. We see some wave vibes taking place here. This will get everybody back up on the lead lap as much as possible. Right now, the only cars being scored a lap down are the 16 of Chris Brown, the 60 of Lance Marsh, and the 26 of Daniel Holloway. We only have one retiree of the race, being the 58 of Jim Peterson, who unfortunately forgot to check his fast repair during our only caution of the race. So a brief summary here, we've got 30 laps complete. We've had 17 lead changes. Technically, we have only had one racing caution. This counts all cautions, including mandatorily thrown ones. So that second one does not count. Right now, our top 5 is the 18 of Gary Champion, the 4 of Justin Levine, the 3 of Paul Servant, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, and the 6 of Alexander Russell. While we are under commercial here, once again, we're going to go back to a quick commercial break, and hopefully we'll return with the lights off on the pace car and everybody getting ready for stage 2 of the race. So you see the field here in turn 3 and 4. So hopefully this time by we will see the lights go out on that Mustang pace car. We'll double the field back up and we'll get these drivers ready for stage 2 of the race. Once again, our stage 1 winner is the 3 of Paul Servant. I do believe I saw a beer can just get chucked at the pace car, so somebody's not happy with Jeff tonight.
I think a fan was trying to give him something to drink.
And we will go at least 2 more times around the track. The lights did not go off.
It's also possible that was a Chase Elliott fan thinking Denny Hamlin was driving the pace car.
That is a very good possibility. For a second, I thought the lights, which they should have gone off, it looked like they went off for a second, then went right back on. Maybe Jeff has had more than 2 beers tonight. And then iRacing's just covering for him.
He could be drinking 4 Locos.
Yeah, true. You never know what's inside that car, because I've heard, rumor has it, there's a cooler that's always stacked with Natty Daddies in there, so he might be drinking those.
Well, from what I've been told, the number 2 of Rick Seabrands provided a Yeti cooler.
Oh boy. And contrary to what people think, they may be one expensive ass cooler. They definitely do keep your drinks cold for a long time. But, hey, it's wintertime. I've got a cheap ass Coleman cooler out there that's had ice in it for over a month. How about you now, Yeti?
Yeah, but the name Yeti's way cooler than a Coleman.
Not if it's Gary Coleman. So hopefully the lights do go out on the pace car this time by and we can double the field back up. It looked like everything was ready to go. We saw the drivers starting to double up and then it was a no-go. We're going to see the 3 of Paul Servant duck down pit road. Now this is probably a strategy move to get back in line with the 8 of Dana Osborne, who right now is being scored in 22nd position. All about teamwork here, and if that means coming down and recycling to the back to be with your teammate, then that's what you do. And finally, the lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to double them up here. We will restart the race on lap 35. And a quick run through the top 10. Leading the restart here will be the 18 of Gary Champion, the 4 of Justin Levine second, the 66 of Bobby Tinch third, Alexander Russell in the 6th, 4th, the 48 of Jimmy Coleman 5th, Matthew Almany in the 9, 6th, Rick Seabrands in that Yeti number 2 machine 7th, Eric Connex in the 21, 8th, Artie Peterson Jr. in the 1, 9th, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 36 of Jason Eisenhower. And of course, we have to go to the Crank It Up camera. And there's a great shot of just how short Jeff Badon really is. I mean, it looks like he's sitting as straight up in that seat as he could possibly get.
Maybe he's got a gangsta lean going on.
You know, he might. That seat is really old. And I also don't know why the Mustang pace car has ladder arms on it, or yeah, you can kind of see it right there. It's got traction bars on it, so I don't know why the hell a pace car would need traction bars.
Maximum traction for Jeff?
I think more so, we've seen how fast that pace car will fly by the field sometimes. I think they put him on there just for when the VTEC kicks in and he sprays that 4,000 shot of nitrous. Either way, he's going to be pulling that hot rod here down on the pit road, and Gary Champion will be leading us into the restart zone to get stage 2 underway here momentarily. They get lined up.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. Stage 2 is underway here at Talladega Super Speedway with the Homes Now Not Later Cyber Racing Super Speedway Series. All right, so as always, we try to get at least 2 or 3 laps in there, but I had to come to this. Look at this. 3 wide right here. Look at the 8 and the 3. The 8 of Dana Osborne and the 3 of Paul Servant. They are out there working it on the high groove. They're trying to get back in form. They've got the 1 of Artie Peterson Jr. there on the inside. Meanwhile, out front, it's still the 18 of Gary Champion, and I don't think he's going to be contested this lap, as he's easily got it by a car length there. But a little bit of a mover here. The 66 of Bobby Tinch, he's worked his way up to the second car on the inside there, as well as the 9 of Matthew Almany in that Coors Light Bill Elliott retro paint scheme behind the 4 of Justin Levine there. So interesting strategy call. We see now the 2 of Rick Seabrand's down on the inside. And right there, that's about as close as you really want to be side drafting these cars, especially with how much net code we've seen lately. But this time by, it's going to be a little bit closer, but it's still going to be the 18 of Gary Champion leading his 10th lap of the race. So we see once again the 8 and the 3 trying to make that third groove work there. Right now they are being scored in 12th and 13th. Now they've hooked up with the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach. See if they can get those 3 cars up and around the 76 and the 48. They're also being joined. So now we've got 4 cars up there. The 4th one, he's kind of committed. They're all going to drop back down to the upper groove instead of being up there on the 3rd line. Smart move for right now, as these guys are absolutely battling it out up front. See the 48 looking, and he sees the 29, the 8, and the 3. They're all going to duck down. They're like, nope, we're not doing that. You're going to get stuck and hung out. So right now, that 48 is odd man out. He's going to have to wait his turn, and he's going to lose at least 3 spots on that, if not more. So we see now the 29 and the 8 branching out once again to go 3rd wide. Expect that 3 and possibly the 54 to go with them. as they go 3 wide through turns 3 and 4 here, it's 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, the 8 of Dana Osborne, and the 3 of Paul Servant. They're dedicated to making that third groove work, and this is going to be a three-way battle for the lead here. At the line, it's going to be between the 4 of Justin Levine and, once again, it'll be the 18 of, nope, it'll be the 4 of Justin Levine that time leading. Wow. He had that momentarily. As they are still 3 wide. So this right here is just to show the level of racecraft that these guys have, or just to show testicular fortitude that these guys have. They're not scared to go and run 3, 4 wide at over 200 miles an hour. We'll pull up our little drop down screen here. Right now, that 29 machine is doing over 200 miles an hour. Now, these cars redline, they tack out at 8,000 RPM. So we can see our race leader right now at 201 miles an hour. And then on the outside there, look at that, 203. I'd expect maybe to see 205, 206. There's 206. 18 also with 205 going there into turn 3. They're still 3 wide. Ooh, it looks like a little bit of contact there with the outside wall. Nothing major. So once again, it's going to be a battle for the lead here as they come to the line. And the inside with 3 cars is going to prevail once again as the 18 of Gary Champion is going to lead that lap. Now, these guys have done a great job. We had that one little netcode incident, but other than that, we've seen some pretty clean racing here. As we go to the camera that usually highlights where iRacing predicts the crash is going to be. Let's see where. There it is right there! Wow, a lot of cars spinning around. We see some junk there. So it looks like that one was between the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach and the 9 of Matthew Almany. As we can see that 76 of Scott Warren. He is dog-legging the crap out of that car. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look from the 29's point of view. We're going to see what happens here, and then we'll take a ride on board with the 2 of Rick Seabrands because he got the entire action as it happened. So right now, keep your eyes on that yellow and white machine, the 3rd car on the outside line. Look for him to make contact with that number 9 machine as he's on the inside there, and there's the touch. Oh, the 66 of Bobby Tinch almost went completely airborne as he slammed the wall. We see more contact being made, so now we're going to go on board with the 2 of Rick Seabrands, and we're going to watch that from his perspective in cockpit. as we ride along with the two of Rick Seabrand's here. Now directly in front of him is where this is all going to take place. Now the 76, he's involved in the wreck. The 9, the 29. But as they come out of turn 3 and 4 here, this is where we're going to see it. There's the initial contact. Great job by the two getting on the binders as we see cars scattering all over the place. Now we're also going to go on board with the 3 of Paul Servant and see his point of view through that wreck. So here we are watching the 3 from on board. Directly in front is the 29, so this is where the action is going to happen at. Now this is them, the lap leading up to it. They're coming off, they're on the back stretch now. They'll be going to 3. The wreck happens coming right to the line. So last view we brought you, you can see there in the side mirror there was from the 2 of Rick Seabrand's. Now we're going to bring it to you from the 3 of Paul Servant. Here comes the movement. Wow. Wow, you see that rear view mirror just full of the 66 flipping. Holy crap, that was amazing. As they are now all under pacing here. You see the 76 of Scott Warren back out on track, so he has used that quick repair, which rightfully so, because that car was dog-legging awful badly after the contact from that wreck. So you see a car stopped having to wait for the, oh wow, look at that, his wheel is jammed in. The right front wheel on the 21 machine is not turning. It's like his left front is dug in. Let's go to the 21 and see if, see what is going on. He reset his car, but his right front wheel would not move. Like you could see it turning almost like it was a 4-wheel drive car, but it was not, he wasn't able to turn. He couldn't get down pit road. That was crazy. So we are working our second caution of the race. So we get a good shot here. We look back to 13th place right now. That is the league owner, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. Meanwhile, out front, it'll be the 88 of Gregory Thompson with the lead here. He's got 2 laps led right now. The 18 of Gary Champion right now being scored with the most laps led. He has got 16 under his belt tonight here. We'll see if the lights go out on the pace car this time, but I highly doubt they will. So since we will continue under pacing here, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and we will return with more iPacing. All right, so the pace car has made its way onto the backstretch here. Hopefully this time we get the 1 to green. So we're going to go through the top 10 right now. Out front, it'll be the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 18 of Gary Champion second, the 4 of Justin Levine third, Dana Osborne in the 8 fourth, 2 of Rick Seabrand's fifth, the 1 of Artie Peterson Jr. sixth, the 3 of Paul Savant seventh, Chris Brown in the 16 8th, the 99 Thomas Barr 9th, and Jimmy Coleman in the 48 is going to round out the top 10. Meanwhile, as we look down, we still only have 1 retiree from the race and 1 car right now being scored 2 laps down. That'd be the 21, and undoubtedly that'd be because of the problem he had. Now, me and Mike we were sitting there talking about it, and we think that the reason that that car was not moving is that the left front wheel somehow got wedged up inside the fender well, and he was a weeble wobble pretty much. He could not get it because we did see that that right front tire was turned all the way to the left, and it did look like it was trying to move, but 9 times out of 10 when you sustain heavy wheel damage like that and it knocks the left front up in the air, that car just digs into the ground and does not want to turn whatsoever.
Yeah, from a replay standpoint, we can't see that, but the person actually driving the car can. For some reason, iRacing hasn't quite figured that one out yet.
There's a lot of things that iRacing hasn't figured out in the 10 plus years they've been around. I mean, hey, it took, what, 9 years to get animated pit crews that we still can't see when we're doing this?
Well, they are working on day to night transition, and they are working on, there is a video somewhere in the forum of the dynamic damage model with parts falling off the car.
Sweet baby Jesus. Now we'll have Jimmy Johnson cautions all the time.
Yeah, I can't wait to be driving and have my bumper fall off. Wonder if we'll ever get a pit road Brad Keselowski where you hit your pit crew.
I've tried doing that. Apparently my pit crew likes to be transparent with me.
You have Patrick Swayze as your pit crew.
But we're not making pottery.
They're making something all right with your tires.
Sometimes I'd rather be making pottery than pulling in for tires and fuel, because I think my gas man has a crush on me.
Is it Jimmy Johnson's gas man?
It might be. I don't know. I never see the guy personally. I just go straight from the race car to the RV. They have to ride in the hauler.
Also, it's one of those never make contact moments.
Pretty much. It's like avoid eye contact if all necessary. In fact, I think I might actually have a restraining order. And the only reason he's still there is because he's such a damn good gas man.
He does give you that extra downforce.
He does. So I gotta keep him around, even if he is kind of a creeper. The pace car is getting ready to make its way off the track once again. And that means that we're gonna go over to the Crank It Up camera and let these guys fire it up, as they'll be taking, I believe, 11 laps until the end of stage 2 here at Talladega Superspeedway. The 88 of Gregory Thompson is gonna lead us into the restart zone and get this back underway.
Green flag.
All right, so as we watch these guys, we saw an interesting move happen there. We saw the 76 of Scott Warren as they came off of turn 2 there on the restart lap. He dove down onto the apron on the backstretch and recycled to the back. That's actually probably one of the most smartest moves I've seen, because as we saw, he was involved in that caution there. He had to use his only lifeline, his fast repair, so dropping to the back. We still have a whole nother stage that we have to race here, so if he gets involved in something that might happen up here in the next 8 laps or so, he's screwed. Now, if it happens within the last 30 laps, you're screwed anyways if you've used the fast repair, but good strategy call there by the 76, dropping to the back. Even though he's going to lose the draft, it's not going to matter because they're not going to be able to lap him with this few amount of laps remaining in the second stage. Let me see, that's probably about, I'd say what, 1st through 14th right there, battling it out. They're doing a pretty good job. Now we're starting to see as the laps are starting to go in, people are starting to move around up and down. Seen a little bit of rattlesnaking going on, but that outside line all night, oh hell, we all know the outside line's faster than the inside. But we can see the 18 of Gary Champion, he's still trying to get around the 88 of Gregory Thompson. He's got 2 great pushers behind him. He's got teammates, the 8 of Dan Osborne and the 3 of Paul Servant. And then behind the 88 of Gregory Thompson, we see that number 4 car of Justin Levine glued to the back bumper of the 88. So we're 2 wide, 3 deep up at the front. Gap a car or 2, and then we got another 2 back there. But for the most part, these guys are kind of just shifting around and feeling things out, what they're going to do yet, as the laps are dwindling down. Right now, the 88 and the 18 both trying to get that win for stage 2, but our stage 1 winner is only 2 cars behind the 18. He's hoping that he can get the 18 cleared. We see a little bit of a bump there that upset the 18. They had to break off for a second there. If they can get the 18 to clear, that would potentially put it to, oh, we had another wreck on the track.
Stop.
So this one, that's going to be our third caution of the race here. Looks like that one is going to be on the 6 and the 29. So let's go ahead and take a look from Matthew Welsenbach's standpoint here and see what happened to bring out that caution. All right, keep your eyes. Oh, look at that right there. He got a push and it just turned that 6 machine around. So it didn't really do much damage. It was just a really quick caution there. The only reason it came out is because a car was sideways under speed and there was cars that were still behind him, so that was deemed a caution there. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look from the 6 though. You see him there. He was unfortunately the one that got the most of it, but we're going to back it up here. And we're gonna go to the 6, and do we want to do inside, or should we do I think we should do a cockpit view of this one to see how his hands turn. You can hear him feathering the throttle here through the tri-oval. there you can see the hook. You can hear him locked on the brakes the entire time. He's fighting that race car. He gets it down. Great job by the 6 of Alexander Russell getting that machine under control. And we're also going to go on board with the 54 of Chris Akers as well to see this here. So now we're riding on board with the 54, and what you're going to see is the wreck happening right in front of this car. Now this will be the lap leading up to it. Seeing how the pace laps are so long here, we might as well paint the story of what happens here. So this is the lap leading up to the 6 getting turned in the corner. Wow, that was one hell of a piece of driving right there. As fast as it happened, it was gone. Great job there by the 54 of Chris Akers getting that out of the way and not becoming part of the wreck. Holy crap, that was awesome. That literally right there, I would have shit my pants. That happened so fast.
Yeah, he had a split second to react. You can hear it in the replay. You can hear him let off the throttle, and he went right up to the right spot and avoided that. I mean, if he didn't lift it, he was in it.
Dude, that right there was like some Matrix stuff right there. I've never seen somebody react so fast to something happening so quickly. That was nothing short of absolutely amazing. And that's things, yet another thing that I love about this league here. I mean, we've seen guys do this a lot. I mean, that one though there, I think that one takes the cake for the closest that I've ever seen somebody to either dying or successfully making it through a wreck. I think if he was maybe just a millisecond slower, that would have been, or faster, that would have been a drastically different story.
Yeah, we've seen that twice tonight with the 54 and then the 3 of Paul Servan, when that 66 was spin kicking up the track at him. If he didn't go up to that high line, he just tapped the wall, he would have been dead too.
Great avoidance by both drivers there. Now, with these wrecks that we've been having here, you got to figure this might be affecting some of the Fast 15 drivers here. They are going to eventually be in the elimination seat, and the last thing you want to be is in that spot. So I think once we see the final stage underway here, which we might actually see this caution extend out into it if we don't get a 1 to green next time by, because we only have a couple laps left in this stage, so it'd be kind of silly to wind them up for 1 lap and then throw the caution back out. But we'll see what happens here. So if they don't go out this time by, we'll still have a few laps remaining. We'll see what the what iRacing decides as far as caution, and if they decide to just delay the caution and call that end of stage.
Mic on. Mic on. Mic on. Mic off. Mic off. Mic off. Mic off. Mic off. Mic on.
Well, it appears that we are going to restart with, I think this will be either 1 or 2 laps to go here before the stage ends. And my headset has a rather attractive woman's voice in it. I don't know why the hell she's kept saying on and off and on and off and on and off, but who knows? She might be a possessed little piece of equipment. So as we look up at the front, it'll be the 16 of Chris Brown leading us into the restart zone. Gary Champion will be on his outside. Dana Osborne and Paul Savant will occupy row 2. Now those are teammates. And then we will have the 88 of Gregory Thompson and the 4 of Justin Levine for row 3. Row 4 will be Matthew Almany and Raymond Rittenhauer. And then row 5, rounding out the top 10, will be Rick Seabrands and Daniel Holloway. It appears what we're looking at is going to be a 1-lap shootout to see who can win stage 2 here. Well, as always, even though it will be a 1-lap shootout, we're going to go ahead and go right to the crank it up camera, and we're going to ride around from the leader standpoint, and we're going to watch as this unfolds here, as the 16 of Chris Brown is going to lead us into the restart zone and get this final lap in so we can end stage 2 here. Well, actually, they got a few to go.
Green flag, green flag.
A flag.
Everybody's rolling.
Green flag is back out. Everything is underway. Let's hear those motors go up. Now they've gotten a couple laps in here, and look who's right there knocking for the lead again, the 3 and the 8. So no surprise that these guys were going to hook up on the restart, and we did see it happen. We saw the 8 drop down. They cleared Gary Champion in the 18. Now we see the 3 trying to drop down and get a little bit of side draft out the 16. The 8's going to follow suit as well against the 4. And I'm not a rocket scientist, but this many cars this close together, I see something going wrong before this stage ends. These guys are racing it. Well, like you said earlier, they race every lap like it's the last lap, and these guys are really laying at it. As we see the 3 drop down, he's going to clear. So now we might see the 8 of Dana Osborne if he can get pushed up there by the 18. But we do know that the 18 and the 26 are teammates. So we got 2 teammate vehicles here trying to push the 8. If the 8 there, he drops. Now it's going to be a battle between the 8 of Dana Osborne and the 18 of Gary Champion. This is going to be to see who is going to win this stage. So we got teammates versus teammates here on the first 2 rows. Ooh, a little bump there from the 26, sent the 18 up the track. They had to slow it down a little bit. That's going to help the 8 and the 3 just a little bit. But these cars don't really lose speed too fast, and they don't lose the draft that bad either. So they just gather it back up and give it another run here. We still have 7 laps before the end of the stage goes. And look, right there is exactly how you want to bump these cars. Go up, give them a tap, then back off. You don't want to hit them in the corner unless you really trust the person pushing you or you really trust the person in front of you to maintain a consistent line every single lap. But not many of us are robots out there, so it's really freaking hard to do. And easy enough to say at the line without a doubt. It'll be the 8 of Dana Osborne leading that lap. That'll be his 11th. So he just now beat his teammate by 1 lap with laps led. Paul Sabrant has 10 in the books. And now we've got the 00 of Dwayne Cooper and the 66 of Bobby Tinch, making it 3 wide here on the backstretch.
You know, we haven't mentioned Dwayne's name a lot, but I think in the next coming laps we'll be mentioning his name a lot.
I think, oh wow, look at that move right there as we see the 00 again. He's going to force the 80 to the outside, and he's looking on the inside of the 20 there, Michael Coe. Dwayne is on a tear right now. He's wanting to get up towards the front real quick. Meanwhile, up at the front, that time by will be the 18 of Gary Champion by a nose. He's able to drop down and clear the 18 or the 8 of Dana Osborne. So now that's going to strand his teammate, the 26, out. So you see them fanning out like crazy here on the backstretch on the upper line, or as Alan likes to call it, the upside line. And now the 8 car, he's sitting in the cat seat right now. He's in danger of being the middleman in, oh, there we go. Now the 3 has picked him up. We might be looking at a 3 wide finish for the start as all of a sudden it's thrown to Scenic. I don't know what the hell happened there. Don't know exactly what happened there, but for some reason, iRacing decided it wanted to be a little bit weird. Didn't lose any frames. There was nothing to do on our end. That was all iRacing. So out front, it's still the 18 of Gary Champion. We've got the 3 and the 8 on the outside working together as they were able to sort out. But look, there's the 00 Dwayne Cooper. Right now he is sitting in 5th spot. He's just waiting. He's going to decide which lane he wants to go to. Right now the 3 was clear of the 18, but he wants to bring his teammate with him, so they're going to wait. But now behind them, they've got that 00 of Dwayne Cooper. I mean, we've seen that 00 push a shitload of cars over the past seasons. Now the 3 of Paul Sabrant's going to drop down. That's going to allow the 00 to suck up to the back of the 8. As oh, that was a very risky move by the 18 of Gary Champion, but he was able to pull it off without causing the big one here. We kind of crossed over the nose there of the 8. If that was a little bit later, we would have saw that 18 Dale Earnhardting the wall pretty hard. There, 3 wide. The 8 of Dana Osborne gets stuck out, so he's going to cycle back. That sucks. I really wanted to see that 80. He was so strong. Now he's separated from his teammate. He's going to have to recycle all the way to the tail of this field here, unless he can find a spot to drop into. Meanwhile, the 00 and the 18 have hooked up, and this time at the line, it's going to be the 18 of Gary Champion leading this lap. Okay, so apparently during that last caution, we burned through the second stage, so this is the final stage. It is now, that's the only way that it makes sense. We are in the final stage of the race. So this is the make it or break it one. So as I called it out, we were right about that being, we're already past it, so they used that caution that came out as it. As right there we saw a battle for the lead, but once again at the line, it'll be the 18 of Gary champion. But now we got the 00. He's up there. He wants to get a piece of it. He hasn't led a lap all night. He wants to get on that board. Right now, the lap leader is that 18 machine of Gary champion. He's got 25 laps in the books led here tonight. Dwayne's trying to make that not 26 this time by. So he's got the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, the 26 of Daniel Holloway, and the 4 of Justin Levine there on the outside line. On the inside, it's the 18 of Gary Champion, the 3 of Paul Servant, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, and the 2 of Rick Seabrands. And just barely, the 18 will lead that lap as well, so score another one in the books for the 18. The drag race down the backstretch here into turn 3. You can see the outside line has a slight advantage going in, but you always know that you're going to lose a little bit through center. But then if you got the help on the way off exit of the corner, you're always going to get the run. But then you have the tri-oval to deal with. The inside line has a bump that they have to run through. You have the smoother terrain, but you're also running a longer distance around the track, and you've got to merge back up a lane to get to it. Now we're going to see 3 wide here as we're going to come up on lap traffic. And all these guys do have to take one more pit stop, because it is 1 pit stop mandatory per stage. And with this being the final stage of the race, everybody does have to come down at some point. I think right now, the Tough Break Award, if it doesn't count for Carnage, goes to the 8 of Dana Osborne. He was right up there at the front with his teammate, the 3 of Paul Servant, and he is now currently being scored in 16th position. And then that time around, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper is going to be scored as your race leader at the line, so give Dwayne a lap lead here. As now we see the 26 and the 4 looking to make this 3 wide as they barrel down the backstretch. This would be 2 by 2 by 2 if they can get it in there. You see a third car, that's the 9. That'd be Matthew Almany. He was looking to try and make it 3 wide as well, but now he's going to cycle out, and the 20 of Michael Coe will go around him. So that'll drop Matthew Almany back to 13th, I believe. And at the line again, that would be the 00 leading that one just by a nose. It's definitely getting interesting here. Now these guys are racing for real. I think we might, I'm hoping by saying this that we eliminate it. We might see the big one here. But I think now we're going to see a lot more strategic moves as they try to make these passes and get out there. As we see, there's some pit stops underway. We've got a lot of cars coming down pit road. So green flag pit stops are underway here in the final stage at Talladega. We have basically 15 or 16 laps to go, or 17, because there's always 1 lap behind. So 17 to go here at Talladega. Now these front guys here still do have to pit, so it's all about when to come down. And right now I don't really want to be a car on the high side. I want to get down on the low side so I can go ahead and pit and hopefully have enough gap between the cars that just came down and pitted to still maintain the lead when we come back out on track. Now right now the 00 and the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, they're kind of stuck because they got the 18, the 3, the 26, the 4, and then they've got a few more cars, the 88, The 20, as we see, they're going to still stay out though. So at the line that time, it was the 18 of Gary Champion. He's going to continue to add on to his laps led tonight. That'll put him up to 28 laps. As now looking into the picture, we see some lap traffic there that they had to run through. That got a little sketchy there for a moment. And we are 3 wide here. The 8 of Dana Osborne, the 9 of Matthew Almany, and the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach. Dana is on a mission. He went all the way back to 16th, and now he's being scored in 10th. It's going to be interesting to see what the final pit strategy is. I think maybe a lot of these guys are banking on a late race caution. We see a little bit of almost could have been a disaster there. Some side drafting there by the 00. Now Dwayne's not afraid to rattle people's cages. He'll get down there. He'll dent your fender. As you can see, he's got a nice little door donut there from that one. He's not afraid to get down there and make contact with another car if it means getting as much air as possible to try and pull him around the track. We see the 54, the 29, the 88. More drivers peeling down on the pit road here. Meanwhile, at the line this time, it looks like it's going to be the 00 leading this lap. And it in fact will be, so add that another lap. So that's 4 tonight for the 00. Meanwhile, your leader of laps down there on the inside, the 18 of Gary Champion, currently is being scored with 30 laps led. So we have 13 laps to go here. Now that's provided that we don't end up with a caution, then we'll go into NASCAR overtime. But 12 laps to go at the line. We see the 87, he's drifting way up to keep that car breathe as we're gonna see everybody start to peel down pit road here. See the 3 and the 8 have hooked back up. The 00 and the 87 staying out. So that will cycle things around. As they hit the line that time, it'll be the 3 of Paul Servant leading that lap. So that'll make it 12 in the books for him. So he's passed back Dana Osborne. But here's something that we have to mention. Dana got separated from the 3 car, who's his teammate, dropped all the way back to 16th position, and now look where he's at. He's back sitting in 2nd behind his teammate. That is some seriously impressive shit right there. And now we will see where it is leaders will be coming down this time to pit. So this should be the final pit stop of the race for these guys here. And we do see the lead pack coming down right now. So hopefully these guys can all get their machines wound up enough, get off pit road all clean and all together, get back up to speed, and they should hopefully maintain enough gap to where they can keep the lead. Now, it looked like that was a strategy move there. It looked like the 3 backed off enough to let the 8 in front of them, so that the 8 will come out ahead of the 3. Now we see the 80, he's gonna have to kinda, does a smart move there by rolling down through pit lane, otherwise they could have made contact on pit road. So right now, these guys are our lead packs, and it looks like they're taking fuel only as they're both going to beat, I believe, the 87, well, it doesn't matter because we're not under caution. The 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer is going to snake it out in front of the 3. Then it'll be the 8, and then the 20 of Michael Coe, and then back behind that, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. So right now, as that scores out, scored the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer as a race leader. That's his first lap led of the night. So right now we are looking at the 00. After that pit stop, going from the front, right now Dwayne is currently being scored in 16. Meanwhile, out front, it's going to be the 18 of Gary Champion leading the race. You see right there the 18, the 26, the 4, and the 9. Then the next group will be 5th on back, starting with the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, which is right there in the picture. These guys have the speed, they have the momentum, and it'll be 9 laps to go at the stripe this time. So anything can still happen. It's good that these guys got spread out, so this could lead to a green flag finish here. We're not all doubled up. Now, God forbid we have to enter NASCAR overtime. If these guys can get organized in the second pack, they might have enough time to get up there and do something against these front 4 here. And tough break aboard now goes to the 00. He has no help whatsoever after that pit stop. It's like everybody just peeled off and left his ass on pit road. He's still being scored in 16th spot, but unfortunately he has no draft, and that's not gonna lead to a stellar finish tonight here at Talladega. Up front, it's 2 teammates, the 26 and the 18 leading it, and then we can see that other pair of teammates being led by the 87 Raymond Rittenhauer. They are marching their way up to the back of the front 4 here. Let's see if they can get up there and do something as the laps are closing down here. We're down to 8 laps to go. They're going to blast by the 80 of PJ O'Leary down on the apron now. Under 10 to go. It's the 10-lap rule here. All lap traffic is to get to the bottom of the track on the backstretch, or to get way the hell up against the wall if you're in the corners. So here we go. Here comes the power move right here by the 87, the 3, and the 8 as they split the 26 and the 18. As all 3 are easily able to clear the 26. Let's see what they can do to get around the 18 of Gary Champion. Now, right now, if I'm Raymond Rittenhauer, I don't want to drop down, because that's just going to open the door for the 3 of Paul Servant and the 8 of Dana Osborne to say, see you later, bye. But it is possible that these 3 guys might be able to all clear the 18.
Well, as we've seen tonight, the 3 and the 8 have probably been the 2 strongest cars, so I'd want to stay hooked up with those guys.
Exactly. And as we see the 26 right now, he got separated from his teammate, the 18 of Gary Champion. Right now, he's going to kind of try and see which lane he can work the best with, as he's just blinked out there for a second, came back. That's going to hurt just a little bit, as long as he doesn't blink anymore, because when you do that on iRacing, the car acts as if it's not there. Like, the sim doesn't pick it up, so you kind of lose a little bit of speed from that car not being there. As we see this gigantic pack towards the back, right now all the focus is on these 7 cars right here. This is the top 7. So word is the entire inside line is all Excalibur Racing right here. The 18, the 4, the 9, and the 26.
Caution,
And we got a caution on the track. This is gonna level the playing field here.
Look for me right there.
This is definitely going to level the playing field. Looks like it was between the 48 of Jimmy Coleman and the 66 of Bobby Tinch. So let's see what happened there and what brought out this very, very late race caution. What would probably have been the most picture-perfect ending of a race. So let's see what happens here. There is inside the... Wow, look at this. He's driving... the 48 was driving inside the 29 right there. He was all the way inside, clear. His nose was like tickling. Oh, wow. That's definitely interesting, seeing how the nose of that 48 was tickling Welzenbach's butthole with the front valance on that car. But yeah, that's some very interesting internet there. So we're going to go also on board with the 99 of Thomas LaBarre here, and we're going to watch it from his point of view. This will be an interesting one to watch here. So once again, this is going to be another crazy ass wreck avoidance here. So this will be the third time we see it tonight. And now here's where we see it, and look at that. Wow. What? That's the third time we've seen some crazy ass wreck avoidance. Wow. I think these guys are burning up multiple lives here. Holy crap. Great job there by the 99 of Thomas LaBarre making it through that one. As we are under caution here, I don't think that this, well, I know this isn't going to be the end. They're going to double them up, and we are going to go into NASCAR overtime here. It'll be 3 laps at the line. Right now, current race leader, look at this lucky break too. At the time that the caution came out, the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer was our race leader. So he has broken the gap between Gary and well, he does still have Excalibur Racing with him, but they're going to be shuffled around. Well, while we are under caution here again, we're going to cut to another commercial break and return with hopefully not a super dramatic finish, being like cars flying everywhere and Ricky Bobby stuff here. Hopefully we get to see a great restart and a great finish, but we are going to cut to a quick commercial break and return with the eye-pacing action here at Talladega Super Speedway. as we see the field here, they're about middle backstretch. And if the pace car lights don't go out, we're going into overtime. So let's momentarily ride on board with our race leader and see what he's doing. We ride on board with the 87. We haven't really seen him or talked about him much all night. He started, I think, second to last tonight. And now he's up here at the front leading this thing at the end.
Yeah, he did the same thing last week. He kind of stayed back and relaxed, and then all of a sudden there he was at the end getting the top 3.
And now he's just creeping along in his car as he's under caution.
And word is from race control, it is a green-white checker.
So we will have a 1-lap shootout here. And with this being plate track, this is definitely going to be a checkers or wreckers scenario. So the field is already doubled up in anticipation for the restart. Lights are out on the pace car. We will have exactly 1 lap, unless they wreck, before they get halfway around the backstretch. Well, we have 2 laps. So unless they wreck before the white flag comes out, they've got technically, they still won't 100% be up to speed. It's my pleasure to be back here at Cyber, Jason. I actually missed it so much when we were gone. I hated it. We had the scheduling conflict. And now that it just feels good to be back home with you crazy fuckers out here on track. I mean, y'all never fail to bring it. And this restart here is probably going to be exactly what we expect at Cyber. It's going to be nothing short of spectacular, as it's going to be a green-white checker finish. These are the races that you really, really, really love waiting for the ending. You don't know what's going to happen. You've got the entire field bunched back together. Anything's going to happen here. All I know is we've got the 3, we've got the 8, we've got the 87, the 8. We got a lot of strong-ass cars in the front of this field. Nobody knows what's going to happen here on these last 2 laps. We're just going to have to sit back and let destiny take control. Or, if they wreck, let Jesus take the wheel, because it really hurts when you hit the wall, especially if you're on a direct drive. And for once, I'm actually going to deviate away from using the crank it up cam on this restart, because I want to see how this goes down. Now, they have to take it when the green flag comes out. They can't jump the start. So this right here is going to be a freaking amazing show.
Green flag.
Green is out. They got 2 laps to go. Let's see what the hell happens here in 2 laps of Talladega. We got about a little over 5 miles left to go. Looks like the outside line already off to a good start. Now comes the inside line. We got teammates right there, the 3 and the 8. The 87, his teammate is back there towards the back of the pack, but for right now, looks like that inside line's getting it a little bit more momentum than the outside, but remember, it takes about roughly 2 laps for these cars to get up to speed. So that inside line might be an advantage, but look at that 8 on the back of the 18. So they will take the white flag this time by. So as long as they make it to the line, it's race it out. So as the 87 crosses the line here, it will be white flag. And please, for the love of God, you crazy bastards, keep it together, because I want to see this thing end under green. It does not look like that outside line is really good. Oh, we got the 18 going around, the 29 involved. That's not going to take away from the action in the front here. Let's see if the 3 of Paul Servant tries to make the move on the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer. The only other car he has with him right now is the 26 of Daniel Holloway, and there's a pack of cars back here, so they might try to rally up, but it's not going to be enough. What's going to happen here as they come to the stripe? Is the 3 going to try and make a move, or is he going to be content to ride behind the 87? It looks like he's going to stay behind the 87 and hand the race win to Raymond Rittenhauer.
Caution's out. Earl, you sure you got your release mark correct?
Even though we did see a wreck happen there, apparently it spun down the track and it did not bring out a caution. So we were able to see a green flag finish, and I'm a little bit surprised to see that the 3 of Paul Servant was happy to take a second, but it's great to see a car that started second to last tonight come back and win the race. So hats off to the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer. Hats off to all these guys. Hell, we've seen some of the sickest wreck avoidance tonight. And surprisingly for Talladega, with a fixed setup car, we know that we've seen bumps gone bad a million times. We did not really see that much happen in the way of cautions. I think we only had 3 cautions that were not segment ending ones. So, I mean, just great job by the drivers tonight. So, looking at the top 3, it's going to be the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, the 3 of Paul Servant, and the 26 of Daniel Holloway. And we are going to go ahead and bring in our 3rd place finisher. That will be the 26. All right, Daniel, that was one hell of a race you guys put on tonight. Very minimal on the cautions. A green-white checker restart. We knew something was going to happen. It happened, but you managed to bring it home 3rd. How did it feel that last few laps?
Oh, man, that was hectic. That was wild. I took a little bit of extra fuel just in case with that green, white, and checkered, and had a bad start there. I just want to say, Jim, sorry about that. I'm not sure if that was neck coat or anything, but feel bad. Reckon that kind of hurt me in the beginning of the race, but I'll take 3rd. I'll take that finish.
Well, if there's any consolation in the booth, we both looked at it, and that was 100% net code from what we could see. It's just getting worse and worse on iRacing, and I don't know how bad these cars think they're right next to each other when they're not, but it was definitely a net code there with the 58, and unfortunately he forgot to check his fast repair, so that ended his night early. But that was definitely one hell of a finish. Undoubtedly, I think the 3 and the 8 were the 2 strongest cars in the field tonight. They got separated. At one point, Dana had dropped back to 16th, and then he made his way back up, but then all that mattered was those last couple laps. And then when it happened with the 8, it was you, the 87, and the 3. So it's got to feel great bringing home a top 3rd, knowing that we're in the Fast 15 and only 11 are going to advance. A top 3, I'll take that tonight.
Yeah, I'll take that. Good points night. Playoffs points there. So, yeah, got to keep an eye on these other guys. I know the points leader was right behind me, so got to keep on digging.
Well, congratulations on that 3rd spot. Is there anybody out there that you would like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dwayne for this league. This awesome league we're doing. You guys, Die Hard. Getting ready to, once we get done here, watch you guys. Team Excalibur, I know we were strong tonight with Gary and Justin, and I'd like to thank those guys too.
Well, we love being in here. You're in for a hell of a show. Tonight's race was absolutely amazing. And once again, congratulations on the 3rd, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir. See you next week, guys.
All right, that was our 3rd place finisher, the 26th of Daniel Holloway. Now we will bring in the 3 of Paul Servant.
Halfway.
All right, Paul, we thought you had it all in the books. You and Dana, undoubtedly the 2 strongest cars all night tonight. Tell us what it felt like the entire race through your eyes running with Dana there.
Just a minute. I'm logging out here. A lot of noise going on. I can't really hear you there. Repeat, please.
Undoubtedly, you and Dana were, there's no contest, the fastest cars all night. You guys stayed hooked up throughout the entire race. Looking at it, I do believe you were leading a lot of the laps there. Let's see what your total was tonight. You had 12 laps led. The big lead went to Gary Champion, but speed-wise, teammate-wise, you guys were on a freaking tear. Just run us through the race through your eyes with the help from the 8 of Dana Osborne.
Well, the plan was to, stay up front, work as hard as we could. We took it 3 wide a few times. We're just having a blast. I mean, the guys put on a hell of a show. That was the plan, that try to stay out of trouble. We did. Unfortunately, I lost Dana there at that green-white checkered. I don't know what happened, but the plan was to stay up front. We did. We hit our pits. Everything clicked until the end there.
I believe there's a little bit of contact between the 18 and Gary Champion. I think Gary came up a little bit and got turned by Dana, but we did see that happen a couple other times where the 18 kind of jumped up out of line, and it could have been a lot worse, but luckily you guys know what you're doing, and a lot of the stuff we saw was just a typical, sometimes somebody gave the bump in the wrong spot, but bringing it home second tonight, knowing that there's playoff points involved, the Fast 15 and only 11 advancing, second spot it's a great spot to be in. You set it on pole tonight. The only way to top it off would be to win it from pole, but hell, I'll take second place all day long. Is there anybody out there that you would like to thank?
Dana working with me all night, and the plan was to, to stay up front, get the points, as many points as we could. If we couldn't get a win, the plan was to finish well. Points are important. Eliminate guys. Thanks to Dwayne, you guys, and Ray. We were chatting there. That silent chat thing there, and I told him I was gonna push him, wasn't gonna try anything and get him a win. He told me he wasn't gonna be there next week, so I stuck to him and got him the win. So, good job, man.
We kind of wondered about that. I was like, is he going to pull out to try and make a move, or is he going to stick behind the 87? So there was the strategy there at the end. So good to see the 87 and Raymond Rentenhauer getting a win. But once again, congratulations on that second place. That's going to keep you cemented good in the points as we move into next week, and we will see you next week.
Thanks a lot, man. Have a good night.
All right, that was our second place. Now let's bring in the party boy. All right, Ray, we saw you start second to last tonight, and what the hell, you finished in the win. You got to tell us the story, man.
Well, I hit the wall on my outlap on my Q run, so I just aborted immediately there. So I just waited in the back and waited till about 20 to go to get up there.
Well, definitely the story of the night was the 3 and the 8. Undoubtedly the two strongest cars in the field. The 3 sit on the pole. The 8, we saw him, he had a little trouble. He dropped back to 16th, and he worked his way all the way back up to second, and then lucky break for you when that caution came out. You were ahead of the 3, which gave you the lead, and then we entered that green-white checker, and it looked like there might have been a little bit of contact between the 18 of Gary Champion and the 8 of Dana Osborne there on the backstretch, which kind of separated everything out. We heard from the interview with Paul that he was going to stay committed and push you to the win since you won't be here next week. So that's got to be an extra good feeling to know that you didn't have any pressure on you on that last lap and you were easily able to bring it home with the W tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely got to give a big shout out to Paul there for sticking with me, and Dana and them for helping, Pondo, everybody, just, Dwayne for everything he does for the league. Just awesome job tonight.
It was definitely, I think this was probably one of the most shining moments of cyber racing that we have ever broadcasted here. It was some of the best, cleanest racing that we've seen. The stages were perfect. The green flag pit stops were right on point, and you bring it home with the win. Unfortunately, we won't see you next week, but once again, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, Mike, any final words before we send this one off in the books?
All I can say is, wow, I've watched a lot of these races. I've been in the broadcast booth with you for a lot of them, and that was a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun just sitting here and watching it and just seeing how well these guys drive. The wreck avoidance tonight was amazing. I've never seen wreck avoidance like that. I mean, there's wrecks that 5, 6, 7, 8 guys could have been collected in, and everyone either locked it down or made the right move at the right time. It was just a lot of fun to watch, and it's a big respect for these drivers and Dwayne for the league he puts on. He does a great job, and these drivers do a great job, and it's just great to watch.
And I think tonight is exactly the shining example of exactly what these drivers can do. I mean, we've seen early on in the first season that I covered for them that there's a lot of the bumping that we saw at Trigger Rex, and over the progression from the time that we took off, which was maybe about a season or two, and then we came back on this season with these guys, it was like a total day-to-night transformation. I mean, Dwayne, I got to give him a shout-out myself. He is undoubtedly probably one of the hardest working guys on iRacing. I mean, he spends a shitload of money to put this league together. It's one of the only few leagues, if maybe the only league on iRacing, where there's zero entry fee and there's a payout for the entire thing. So a huge thanks to Dwayne for having the deep pockets to put all this together. Jim Peterson for coming on board with the Homes Now sponsorship for this series. Unfortunately tonight it didn't work out for him. There was a netcode issue with him in the 26 car, but basically I bow down to all these drivers here. These guys definitely have their shit together. They know how to run these cars. And then when we alternate and switch it up with the open trucks, that I think is some of the funnest racing I've ever seen as well too, especially knowing that you've got different teams all running different setups. But tonight, fixed setup racing at Talladega, I don't think you can get any better than what we saw tonight. So with that being said, for everybody here at Cyber Racing, Homes Now, and Die Hard Live TV, thank you everybody for tuning in. And if you loved watching tonight's action, make sure you tune in next week as we return to Daytona International Speedway with the trucks. And also tomorrow night we will be live with the Die Hard Racing League as they go to Pocono Motor Speedway with the K&N cars. Race will start at 7:20 p.m. Central Time. So if you want another fix in K&N Racing, be sure to tune in tomorrow night as well. So for everybody here, thanks for tuning in and good night.